Happy Friday to you guys. Oh, thank you. Yes, absolutely. Turning off lights here. This is going to be, hopefully this will work at least a little bit here. That screen, is it focused or not? Let's see. Kind of, sort of. Okay, screen's gonna be a little small. So please ask away any questions here. So this is Friday. I did tell you guys to bring your calculators in before we start the bingo game, is just to go over any graphing and how we do graphing on our calculators. And I think we're recording already. Yeah. So at home students, welcome. And we just want to take the extra little time just to do this here. So calculator's on. And when you go to y equals, make sure your little plot 1, plot 2, plot 3 are off. Those are for statistics. They usually are off, but if you've done any statistical work, yeah, go to y equals right over here. Turn off. Oh yeah, you go on them like this, and then you click enter. Just click enter as the cursor is on it. So click enter, turn off. So that's the one that bugs the most. That's the most common mistake. You got to plot on, and it does a statistical feature. Then this is a graphing feature, and they'll say error. Okay. Next thing is, let's go to first thing is the mode button right over here. Let's go to mode, and this tells you all the different modes that you can be in. Normally, you want to be at normal. There's scientific engineering mode. This one right here, floating, just means how many decimal place accuracy you want. So if you're dealing strictly with money, right? You just want to like, okay, I want it to the exact cent, so you want 2, but normally we want it to float. Radians, degrees, don't need to worry about that until you get to trigonometry, this guy here. And then this one's kind of fun. Look at this. Remember how we said there's different ways of graphing? Where this calculator could do 4 different ways of graphing. Something called functional, which is what we do, parametric, polar, and then sequence or sequential.
Where do I get to this list?
Sure, this little mode button right over here. Let me see yours if need be. Okay, just let's take a few. Okay, so you ask me the questions if you get stuck, okay? But you have a lot more options on here. It's still the same concept though. It's okay, are we good? So real quick here, boom, connected graph, yes, sequential graph, yes, real numbers, yes, and you want the full screen for it. Okay, are we good there? To get out of it, all you gotta do is you go to quit. But see these little guys right here, they're all like yellow. So these guys are called second function buttons. So you got to click the little second function, then you click quit. Boom, we're good. Okay, so now we're home screen. Let's go back to y equals over here. And let me get, we'll do an easy one and then we'll go from there here. Okay, so let's plot in some points here and we'll go from there and we'll get some zeros here. I'm going to plot in, let's go X. These guys right here, notice you have a button called X, T, theta, and N. Those are for all the different plotting things that you have. We're good? The X is for the function formula. Okay. T is for the parametric equation, theta is for the polar coordinates, and N is for the sequential graphing. So you got all 4, but essentially that is your variable button. This little guy called the caret button is your exponent button. So if X to the second power. Yeah, it's above the division symbol. Yeah, we call it caret. All right. Let's go with the minus 3x. And let's go, let's see, plus 4. Let's go with that.
So what is it to minus what?
It's x squared minus.
Down from the caret though.
Ah.
Find it all as part of the epi.
If you don't put anything parentheses, it should be It should be just same. Let me check. Let me check.
So then did the X?
It's one of the ones that you already won.
Yeah, X squared minus 3.
So I got minus 3x plus 4. Minus 3x plus 4. And let's go with graphing right over here. The graph button. Usually the and your graph is usually set from
It's so easy.
negative 10 to 10.
Whoa.
So your default setting is negative 10 to 10 across the horizontal plane, negative 10 to 10 across the vertical plane. We good?
Is there a way you can use the W to say find intercepts?
Oh yeah, we'll get there in just a second. I do want to show you just a quick few little things here. One is called the zoom feature. If you just want to see like, what is that, right? The zoom feature, the two I use a lot is something called box and zoom in. These two are probably the most common ones. So box is like this. It's kind of cool. You see this little cursor right over here? What we want to do is we want to create a box. So you got one corner of one rectangle to the other corner of the other side, right? So click enter once. And then as you scroll across with your arrow keys, you scroll horizontally, you scroll vertically, and notice this little box appears, which is kind of cool. Once I click enter, it's going to zoom in only on that right there. It's going to shape my graph only that way. So click enter. Are we good there? Before I do that here, just to make sure, Isabel, you guys good? Please ask me the questions if you guys are. The box, I go to zoom, this little zoom box, and it's number 1 called Z box. Press enter, and then you have a cursor over here. So you have to get the cursor where you want it. So I'm going to put it right here. Click enter once, and then you're going to scroll to the right, and then you're just going to scroll down, and you got yourself the box that you want. So use your arrow keys. Yeah, and then once you click enter, ta-da, look at this. It should be this little box right here. There it is. It's right where we had it. So it's zoomed into that little box, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, the other one is just the zoom in feature. So click on zoom again real quick here. Use number 2 now. Number 2 is just zoom in. Now this one, you allow the calculator to specify the area, but it'll just exactly what it's going to do. It's just going to zoom in. And I forgot what it does. The zooming in feature, I think, is like 70% or something like that. So if you start off from 10 by 10, it goes down to about a 3 by 3. So if you click on that, sorry, Dylan, go ahead. Dylan, ask the question, please.
Is there a way to just like zoom out to what you started with?
Yeah, we'll get to that just a bit here. So my little middle is going to be just a little bit above the vertex, just a little bit above the vertex. So I should see that graph. So clicking, and voila, look at that, just above the vertex. And the center is right there where I had it before. Okay, we're good there.
How do you find the center?
That little cursor will still be there, and it'll still be exactly the center where it was. So on the zoom in feature. Okay, got that. So let's go back to zoom. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way down to 6 called zoom standard. The zoom standard is now back to the 10 by 10. So click on that. So you could either do this. You can click actually on number 6 if you like. That will get you the menu. Or you scroll down by arrow keys and click enter. And voila, we got what we wanted, okay? Which I think is pretty cool. Okay, so let's change our map. Let's change our graph here real quick. You're going over to the y equals. All we're gonna do is we're gonna change it to a -4 instead of a +4. Now on your calculator, you should also understand you have a minus button and then you have a negative button. Those are 2 different pieces. And they'll give you errors if you don't use them correctly. So click enter. Let's graph again. This time it should go down the bottom. Okay, everybody good there? Okay. So what we want to do now is we got the zoom features taken care of, right? So now we want to go this little trace button on the calculator. If you click trace button, it'll just kind of go like this. Not that kind of useful just because the calculator gets to decide how you want to trace. We good? So if you just want to find out, okay, well, the vertex is somewhere between 1 and 1.0 and 1.9, you know, so that's kind of what you have there. Okay, so that's the trace feature. You're just kind of scrolling across this if you like. But we want to do is the calc feature, C-A-L-C, right here. And it's the calculate feature. It's the built-in calculations that your computer or the calculator has. So you got to go second and then calc, and here it is. You can figure out a value at a certain point. Hey, 0, there it is. And then if you're talking about a vertex, you may be looking at a minimum or maximum value. There it is. So let's deal with those. So we're going to deal with the top. We could do value as well, but let's real quickly look at value. So if you click on value, this is your graph and says, look, what's the value at 2.5? You click enter, and it says, oh, it's negative 5.25. Good there? So that's the value feature.
Can you set across the second button? How do you get to the value?
Sure. So second function, a second button, and kill. So you can click on calc. So boom, calc, and the value is number 1. So you either click 1 or click enter, whichever you like. These are kind of cool because instead of scrolling down and stuff, you can actually just press the button. Like I click 1, gets me that. Isabel.
I don't have the same buttons, but I found the menu. It's not the same.
Sure. Yeah. Yours would have more options.
I was just getting into these ones.
Yes. Yeah. Enter and do the same. So you just start typing in 2.5. Enter. The negative 5.25 that I had. So I'm going to click 2.5.
Oh, so it's X is 2.5, then Y is.
Yeah, if X is 2.5, then Y is going to be negative 5.25. Oh, sure. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, it shouldn't. Second and each button. Maddie. Did you see it? They've like molded my finger, so and it remolded on that finger because I wanted the same. It's a graphing calculator.
Okay. Boom. Are we good now? So let's find our zeros real quick here, and then we'll do the rest. So back to calc, because calc is what we're looking for. Yeah, so second function, and we're going to find our zeros finally. There it is. Number 2 is for zeros. Whoa, okay. Click enter, and here's what you got to do. It says asks for a left bound. So use your arrow keys. You got to be on the left side of the 0. So what the calculator does, it's kind of dumb because it doesn't think, right? It's just going to calculate from one side to the other until it gets to 0. That's what it does. And so left bound, you got to click left bound, and you'll see a little triangle that shows up right up here. It says your left bound is set. Click enter once, and then you got to scroll or trace past the 0. It doesn't matter how far you go past the 0, as long as you go past the 0. And you click enter. And you got these little two triangles kind of pointing at each other on top usually. Okay, so real quick here, if you have a TI-84, what happens is as soon as you click that time, it starts calculating already. TI-83, I don't know why they did this. They made you guess. Why guess? I have no clue. So what you do is just click enter again. I guess they thought it was a cool thing to do, but it really wasn't. Okay, so what's the 0? -1. We found our 0 to be -1. Are we good? That's when x equals 0. That's when y is equal to 0. And Abe, you tell me, how did you get -4? Did you click on intercept? Did you click on 5? Did you click on...
It just shows me that when x equals 0, y.
Gotcha, okay. Oh, let me try something real quickly here. I'm gonna click on intercept, number 5. Okay, intercept is when you have more than one curve. So if you have two curves, you want to know where those two graphs intersect each other, you can use the intercept button. We won't do that because we only have one curve. Okay, minimum, maximum. Let's do this one. So this is a parabola. It goes down, right, to a minimum, and then it comes back up. So in this case, you don't want to hit number 4. You want to hit number 3, minimum. We're going to find the minimum value here. So click enter. And again, it says the same thing. You just have to be on the left side of your little minimum value. Click enter. And then you scroll across past the little valley. Click enter again. And for the guess, just click enter. And that is so cool. Okay, it occurs at 1.5. And notice it has 0, 0, 0, 0, then 2.23. Notice that little piece right over there? Because the calculator, it's not looking for specific dots, right? It's just crunching numbers. So sometimes the calculator won't give you exactly a 0. It'll give you like 0.000000002. But essentially that's what they got. So when the calculator was actually calculating this piece right here, it started to bounce between two numbers. So it just said, okay, I got to stop because it's still a code that you're plugging in, right? And so this one is 1.5. Yeah, you could really say like the minimum occurs at 1.5 and the minimum is -6.25.
Mine just says 1.5.
Yeah. And it actually depends where you hit the left bound and the right bound. Because what happens is it calculates like this. It calculates from the left to right, left to right, left to right until it stops. So another little point would actually give you a slightly different answer. Maybe give an exact answer. Okay, and if we went the other way, then it would have been a maximum. Okay, guys, talk to me here. Anybody want to see anything else on the calculator? I think I've covered at least the stuff for chapter 2.
This is more than I can do before.
That's good, that's good. Annette?
Are we going to do this fun part?
Not for the test. The test is going to be a non-calculator test here. Eventually, I think we are going to have a calculator test. So you guys talk to me here. How many do not have a graphing calculator? No access to a graphing calculator. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I know we have extras here, so I'm going to see if I can find some or get some batteries for it. We'll use those. So I just need 3, right? We're good. Okay.
My mom never wanted to buy one. They're too expensive.
Yeah, no, they're about $100. Oh, that's so cool.
No, I have.
That's awesome. That's a very good calculator. If you're going to go on in mathematics and all the good stuff here, you might as well get a TI 89 calculator because the 89 does pretty much everything through calculus. All right. Are we good there? Are we good now?